Alright, my thoughts on One Piece after nearly 2 years of watching the anime straight up from streaming services like Crunchyroll and Netflix, and even a little bit of watch cartoon online. Asterisk is not a little bit. uh, so since September 2024 to what is right now actually March of 2026, almost a year and a half. So this means that it takes me like over a year to watch only 300 episodes, and I still don't know a lot about the series. I don't read the manga, but I don't even read like the other like the fan theories about it. I listen to fan theories if I watch them on accident, so I hear about them every once in a while. But my thoughts on One Piece is that it's a very grounds laid out, if that makes sense, a grounds laid out anime. It's very straight to the point, but it also takes time to cultivate itself, which is also an awesome thing. Slice of life anime like Lucky Star or cartoons like King of the Hill get a lot of flack for being boring, and so if you don't want One Piece to be boring, there is entertainment value to be had with it, but there is a lot of slice of life value to be had with One Piece, and you get time to figure that out through the filler and some of the story itself before you have to ask yourself, do you enjoy this anime because things happen that are causing a journey to happen, or do you just happen to understand that the story is good and even enjoy the process in the meantime? I personally like both. I love One Piece's ideals or story and really carrying through its hype and the enjoyment of seeing the characters develop and grow. And it takes a long time for it to happen. It's a span of over 1,000 episodes. Of course, it takes a while to happen. But you see this happen in an anime where all these characters, especially the first 5 crewmates of the Pirate Straw Hat Gang, they all have elements to their teamwork that make sense through suspension of belief. And the reason I say this, especially in terms of the first 5 Straw Hats with Luffy in mind, is that they all have characteristics and powers and abilities and usefulnesses that come across really well for someone trying to understand a story without needing to use fantasy elements as a excuse all the time. So what I mean by that is, like, for example, you have Luffy, the captain, the pirate who has all those superpowers from a devil food that handicaps in the meantime. You're always thinking about Luffy's handicap abilities because it's a consequence of him eating the devil fruit. You're always worried about Luffy. Don't fall in the water. Don't fall in the water. Don't fall in the water. You do not want Luffy to fall in the water with that devil fruit power. It's such annoying. It's a nuisance and an annoying, obnoxious kind of handicap. Because every time Luffy could fall in the water, you're always worried about it. It's a nice cliffhanger, but it's really, sometimes it does trail away from the One Piece anime enjoyment, but it helps to have it like that. And so Luffy's suspension belief is that it makes sense that he has the superpower as long as it's thoroughly explained without having to use too much exposition to do so. The other crewmates on the Straw Hat crew, they don't have superpowers, but they have reasons, with the exception of maybe Zoro and Sanji, as far as their fighting abilities are concerned. These other characters, the first 4 Straw Hats, they have realistic ways that they have their superpowers, as in not really having a superpower like the Devil Fruit power. They have ways to contribute to the team of the Straw Hats without needing to rely on a superpower like Luffy, and later on to be known through Robin and Chopper. They don't have to rely on superpowers to do that. They can contribute in their own ways. You have Usopp, who's a really good sniper, who can shoot from long range from a far distance and be accurate anyways. You can also build things to an extent and build traps. You have Nami, who can who can use her own navigation skills to have better directions with the polar example that is opposite to Zoro maybe, who at least as far as his own abilities can fight really strong, and he even has skills and technique and finesse doing so. Then you have Sanji, who can cook real well, to the extent maybe that on a sexist terms, maybe Nami could do already, but Sanji does it as his most skill and also his own finesse, where he can actually do it legitimately well. And he's not having to do that to the exception of his crew. He can cook for other people too, because he loves to do it. So all these Straw Hat pirates have ways that commit to their story of One Piece without needing to rely on a fantasy element. That being said, One Piece as a whole has a fantasy element to it altogether. It's not just an anime about, sailing the seven seas or looking for treasure or pirates that could be anarchists, maybe. But it just generally is a good fictional series, and not to mention it does fit the children's role as far as Shonen Jump in Toei animation. It does fit that theme really well. I'm sure Oda would already agree to that. But it's just I think about One Piece, and I remember getting to Skypiea, right? Episode 200, 300 so far. Well, 300 for total for now. 320 almost. I'm still in the Wire 7 after an innings lobby. But in Skypiea, the thing was, I skipped, like, this is the only time I skipped episodes in the entire anime. I skipped the episode where they shot a poison gas grenade in Sanji's first battle. And I skipped like once every 2 episodes in the middle of the Skypiea arc. I would skip an episode every 2 episodes, and then in pairs actually. And then so I missed like over 5 episodes in Skypiea, and I'm still trying to catch up with them. But it's this day. But in Skypiea, the thing was I was having to find out like why I loved One Piece enough to watch the whole thing without skipping the filler, because at that point I didn't even skip filler. I skipped actual canon in the story. Whoops, I did it at random. But I don't skip filler in One Piece. I enjoy the whole show. I'm telling you, I enjoy the show as it is. I don't even skip the annoying fillers like the ones about the random bits about funny stuff. I don't skip that stuff. I watch the whole One Piece as it is. I watch the OP and ED. I did it with A anime. But One Piece, as far as Oda's telling it, is very captivating. It keeps my attention just long enough to engage with the characters in the story as they tell you about narrative storytelling and even character-driven storytelling. I think this is definitely character-driven as a show. And as a manga, I wouldn't know because I don't read the manga, but I would definitely buy the manga if I had a choice. I don't have to buy this anime, though, because I'm a pirate on my own way. I mean, anarchist, by the way, so if you haven't noticed that. But as an anarchist who understands the archetype of pirates, as far as One Piece is concerned, then yeah, I would know better than actually about One Piece in as far as franchise goes. So I do try to watch One Piece officially through Crunchyroll and Netflix. I'm gonna try to get into the live action show actually over time. If I have a choice to do that, I'll watch the live action and get to season 2 because that's getting really exciting lately. I actually think the live action the One Piece would be really quite good to watch and not have too many bad criticism afterwards. And if it is a little iffy of a show, it's good for Hollywood standards to have a show like that live action, but that's just my opinion. So overall, One Piece is already, and I haven't emphasized this before, but I really mean it. One Piece is already my favorite overall general anime. It's better than, like, I have to put this officially. It's better than Shao's House. It's better than Wandering Witch. And it's definitely better than Konosuba. And where are they still running? You and I are polar opposites. I'm enjoying that a lot lately. And, some other currently running anime. It's better than ReZero. It's better than what's still running, stuff like that, like anime that is still running, but I can still be captivated by the show even if it still ends, and it will end. Like One Piece will end obviously over time. If it gets the actual One Piece and Kobe becomes a Navy admiral, and you see a lot of other things come into play after Elbaf is done, and then they get the final saga part of the anime, and then you really sort of find out like what the One Piece could really be as far as the journey is concerned, and even as a destination would be in mind. But I think the One Piece is not supposed to be that obvious, and it could really be something that is so abstract we don't understand it right away. It doesn't have to be like the journey destination kind of thing and be trolled really hard, but that'd be still be okay to be satisfied with, unfortunately, because we're curious enough to deal with it and not have to be burdens otherwise about have to really know what the One Piece is, and this anime won't be worth it after the last second if it's not showing us what it is and not being official with it. Okay, whatever, Die Hard fans. But my favorite Straw Hat by far is got to be Sanji. I've always been fantasized as being a Sanji lover because I like the idea of being competent with your ability to hold to your own standards and not letting your standards do the best of you. Like Sanji doesn't fight with his fists, right? Because he uses them to cook. And I love having standards and boundaries like Sanji, but also knowing that I have the virtues to protect that are also sometimes I'm staying in my way. So I try to find ways like Sanji to set boundaries and also to protect myself in a legitimate way without being too unironically cooked about how to do it, like the meme cook. I gotta cook myself being a weirdo about that, like Sanji might be, but Sanji I'm still learning from anyways as a character. So my least favorite Straw Hat. If I had to include Chopper and Robin and Frankie, I think the least favorite. I'm being biased. I haven't even gotten to Thorough Bark yet. I think my least favorite Straw Hat is what's his name? The bony one. The one voiced by that one guy. That doesn't clear up anything, does it? I don't, because Junpei is the one after him. Brook. Okay, it's Brook. So I don't like Brook. I don't know why. I'm biased. I ain't even gotten the Thorough Bark yet. I already know that Brook's gonna be a little annoying because he's an extension of what Sanji could be, and Frankie was a rare extension of what Usopp would be, but in some ways extension of Zoro from Brook. So and Jinbei from Chopper or Nami. So, but yeah. If you liked the video, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I'm sitting at 159 subscribers because secret deep down, I had to unsubscribe myself. Don't ask why. Please subscribe to this channel. We're growing at about almost again 160 subscribers. I would like to be monetized by the end of the year of 2026, but if I can't, I understand that. I make 2D animation on the channel. I also make comedy skits and vlog episodes when I'm going to the mall and when I'm going to other places like the bookstore around the city. So please be staying tuned for some of those videos to come out, some music as well, some other cool projects to come along, things I'm passionate about, including anime. And stay still, everyone, because someone's still on the move. Take care, everyone. Love y'all. All across one.